Alright guys, this next example we're going to be looking at is testing whether a string is null. Okay, so we have our script here. We're going to use an if statement. Okay, and then we're going to use an echo statement. We're going to write the if statement again, except this time we're going to quote the string. Okay, we're going to see what happens. So let's head on over to our virtual box. Actually, let me move the screen down a little bit so you guys can see fully what's going on here. Okay, so we got our script there. Oops, a little too far. There you go. Let's go ahead and move our virtual box here. We're going to name this one str for string and then test.sh. We can even throw a underscore there just to make it a little bit easier to read. And then what do we always start with? If you said hash playing or shebang, that's right. We always start with what interpreter we're going to use. After we got that, we're going to go ahead and start with our if statements. So we're going to say if square bracket $ string 1 square bracket, then echo string backslash quotation mark string 1 backslash quotation mark is not null, period quotation mark, else echo string backslash quotation mark string 1 backslash quotation mark is null, period quotation mark. Okay. Now we're going to do it again, except this time we're going to actually define the string 1 variable. We're just going to set the value to initialized. Oops, spelled it wrong. I-N-I-L-I-Z-E-D, initialized, okay? Now we're going to use a test statement if string, so $ string 1, square bracket, okay? Then, oops, need to do semicolon, then echo string backslash quotation mark string 1 quotation mark, or sorry, backslash quotation mark is not null, period quotation mark, else echo oop, and I forgot one important thing, guys, up here. I need to close my if statement here, right? So I need to put phi there. That's important. You got to close out your if statements. All right, echo quotation mark string backslash quotation mark string 1 backslash quotation mark is null, period quotation mark. Phi. Okay. All right, guys. So before I throw up our third if statement here, I just kind of want to explain what's going on. So on this first one, remember, test statements are going to test whether the string is null, okay? So this first statement's going to work. It's going to be able to read whether this is null or not. In this case, since no variable is defined, okay, that's the same as saying that it's null. Okay, because it has no defined value. So the state is called null. Okay. I actually forgot to put something here. We put dash in. Okay, there we go. So we did dash in there. Okay. So this first one's going to show us the wrong result, right? More than likely, it's going to say string is not null. So the $sign string is not null. Okay. The second one, what we're actually going to do is we're going to put it in quotation marks. We're also going to have the dash in there. So string variable 1 is now quoted. We're gonna actually get rid of. This is supposed to go after this if statement. Get rid of that. Sorry, jumped ahead there a little bit. Okay, so now we have it quoted. We close our if statement with phi. Okay. Then we're going to do an echo by itself. Now we're going to do another if statement without quotation marks. So if square bracket $sign string 1 square bracket, then echo quotation mark string backslash quotation mark string 1 backslash quotation mark is not null, period, else echo string backslash quotation mark string 1 backslash quotation mark is null, period. Okay, we're going to close our if statement with phi. So this should work fine. Remember that test operator here, or this test statement. Oops, I didn't mean to put a space there. There we go. This test statement is going to test whether the string has a value or not. Okay. We're going to do another if statement. We're going to say if. This time we are going to actually assign string 1 a value equals initialization. That's where I meant to put it. I put it a little too early on the last one. I spelled it wrong again. Initialized. We're just going to put initialized. We'll say if square bracket $sign string 1 square bracket then echo string backslash quotation mark string 1 quotation mark or backslash quotation mark is not null, period, quotation mark, else echo string backslash quotation mark string 1 backslash quotation mark is null, period, quotation mark. We're going to close our if statement with fi. Okay, this is going to give the correct result because we actually have string 1 variable assigned now. but it's still better to put it in quotation marks. Okay. Okay, so we're going to see earlier here we had string 1 in quotation marks, right? Okay, and we're going to see why here, why string 1 is better to put in quotation marks. So we're going to put in our last if statement. Let me move my screen up a little bit. Okay, so we had our if statement there. We actually assigned string 1 a variable, so we're going to put in our last if statement. So if square bracket $sign string 1, so variable string 1, square bracket, then echo string backslash quotation mark string 1 backslash quotation mark is not null, period, quotation mark, else echo string backslash quotation mark string 1 backslash quotation mark is null, period. So we're going to close that if statement, and then we're going to throw an exit status of 0 in there. Meaning if it gets all the way to that point, then it's been successful. Okay? So we got one more thing to do. That's to save this and to make it executable. Oops. There we go. And to go ahead and run it. So we got string 1 is not null. String 1 is null. We got that echo that was blank, right? And then we got string is null, string is not null, string is not null. Okay? So the first one was not null, the second is null, the third is null, and the last two are not null. Let's see why. So let's look at our first if statement there. We got is not null. Okay? This was incorrect, right? And that's probably because we should have quoted it. Okay, we got the wrong result there, right? Then we have our echo statement, which was the blank one, right? Then we quoted it here, right? And we got the correct way. We got is null, right? Because there's no variable that's been assigned yet. Okay, so that first one we didn't have it quoted. The second one we quoted it and we got the correct statement. Then we had our blank echo statement, which we saw in the middle, right? Now let's look at our third one. What did we get on our third one? On our third one we got is null. Okay, so let's look at why. So our third if statement here, which is this one, no quotation marks. We got rid of that dash in. And we got the correct outcome, right? But the last two we got is not null. Why was that? Well, if we go down a little bit here, we actually see that we initialized a variable, right? So both of these should come out correct because now a variable has been initialized. So no, this string variable is no longer null here. Because of that, if basically string 1 exists, it has a value, then echo is not null, else echo is null. Okay, and we got is not null on the last two because a variable existed. So that's kind of how you can test whether a string is null or not using bash scripting, which can be useful. When you're using user input, you want to make sure that they're actually typing something in.